Gerry, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you doing, William?
We've got a couple of texts wondering if you've been invited to the royal wedding. Has the invitation come through yet?
I have been invited. I told him that I'm appearing at a charity function.
A bar mitzvah.
In Rathfriland, and I cannot make it.
You and Fergie together on the stage.
Fergie and I, we have met before. No, I'm not going because I don't think it's. I don't think it's for me somehow.
It's not
are
your
you
kind
going
of crowd.
yourself?
Yeah. No, well, I mean, I'm not. I'm considering the invitation. I'm not sure of how I'm going to respond to it yet.
Has the fat boy been invited?
I don't think they can. I'm not going to answer that question.
I hear
you
him
nearly walked
languishing.
me into that, didn't you?
I hear him languishing in Limerick. What's he doing down there?
Well, you know, I think this is progress for his career. There he is, showing people who are leaving Ireland to the trains, and I'm here presenting the show. He's the roving reporter. I think that's.
I think you'll agree with me that he's at the right end of the country, which is the opposite end from us.
He is. It's literally as far as we could get him this morning. And,
God bless him.
He's happy. He's happy at what he's doing.
God
I think
bless
he's
him.
actually found his vocation.
Are there any raspberry ruffles down there? That's the main thing.
Can
he get his supply in?
I'm not sure what is ruffling.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a great one.
Thank you.
As I got on a city bus and found myself a seat, I thought I saw my future bride walking up the street. I shouted to the driver, "Hey conductor, you must slow down. I think I see her, I'm getting off the bus." Nettie, honey, is that you? Oh, Nettie, honey, is that you? It seems like every time I catch it with you, up to something new. I saw her from the corner when she turned on double back. She started walking towards a coffee-colored Cadillac. I was pushing through the crowd, trying to get to where she's at. Campaign shouting like a southern diplomat. I said, "Nadine, honey, is that you?" Yeah, babe. Oh, Nadine, honey, is that you? It seems like every time I catch up with you, up to something new. Yeah, babe. Oh, darling. Searching for her, looking all around. Saw her getting in a cab, Jack heading uptown. I caught a yellow taxi, hey, I took a stab. Tipped her $20 to catch that yellow cab. Nadine, honey, is that you? Hey, Nadine, little girl, is that you? It seemed like every time I catch it with you, got something else to do. Yeah, and she moves around like a wave of summer breeze. Go driver, go, catch it for me, please. Move through the traffic like a mounted cavalier, leaning out the window, trying to make her hear. Nadine, little girl, is that you? Nadie, is that you? It seems like every time I catch you with you, got something else to do. Oh, Nadie, little girl, is that you? Yeah, little girl, is that you? It seems like every time I got you with you, up to something new. It seems like every time I got you with you, up to something new.
That's Dion. That's a song called Nadine. That's an old Chuck Berry song written by old Chuck Berry. That's from an album called Son of Skip James. Good morning. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme. My name is Gerald Michael Anderson, spinster for this parish. The number to ring. Listen, I messed that up.
Where's he from?
No, I want to talk to you about this. You remember him, Dion, and the Belmonts?
Dion the Belmonts.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
Dion DiMucci.
It is not.
It is,
I
yes.
didn't quite like that.
That's the most curious thing about this. Look at the photograph on
I
this.
see a man with a... Is that a berry he's wearing?
It's a berry. He's got grey hair, and he's wearing a berry to conceal the fact that his hair is grey.
Right.
There's a very curious thing happening. That kind of rock and roll, that Chuck Berry thing. Do you know that music now is, 50 years old? Something like that.
Bit more than.
It's actually,
more than
maybe 55. Let's go and put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you see, the strange thing about it is I happened to read recently Keith Richards, the guitar player of the Rolling Stones, his autobiography called Life.
Did you read
Excellent.
that? Did you?
Oh, excellent.
You wouldn't believe a word he says.
I believe every single word of it. Very smart guy. Extremely smart guy. Not the drug-addled messer that you would imagine he would be.
Yeah, right.
And very, very informative when he talks about the music itself. And very, very informative when he talks about his childhood. But the most sad thing about this is that when you see people like Dion, this guy, singing old Chuck Berry songs from like 55 years ago, you realise that it's the most unusual thing, that these are like kind of traditional jazz players. You remember when we were like 20 and we looked at old fellas like, the Apex Jazz Band, just to name one,
Yes.
and you'd regard them as being kind of old boys.
Fuddy-duddies.
These are the old boys now, the fuddy-duddies. So the fuddy-duddies are all playing Chuck Berry songs. So it makes you wonder, where you are in the whole scheme of things. And it makes you wonder about, what life is all about and what God has put us in this earth for, basically. That's what I'm thinking now at the moment. You thought I was just going to talk about music.
I don't know what you're talking about. You've lost me completely now.
I've only started.
Yeah.
I think I should stop now because I may be leaving the listeners behind. What I'm saying is this. That type of song like Nadine.
Yes.
What does that sound like to someone who's like 18 or 19 or 20? Does that sound like the White Cliffs of Dover?
You see, that's what we don't know.
We don't know that. Would somebody ring me and tell me, what does that sound like to people out there who are just listening to the music?
Here, can I tell you this?
You can tell me whatever you like.
Right. One of my daughters.
Yes.
Right? But at the time she would have been, say, 20 years of age. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And rather excitedly, she told me about a song that I should play on the radio.
Yes.
Right? And she said, it's great, Daddy, because at the end of the night, whatever club they go to, whatever pub or club that they're going to hear, they all insist that the DJ or whatever play this song at the end of the night.
What
and
is
they
it?
all wave their hands and whistle along at times and sing.
Uh-huh.
Pat Boone singing Love Letters in the Sand.
You see, that's why a lot of people shouldn't be given orange juice.
You see, and I'm saying, yes, I must listen out for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A great song to them.
It's very difficult.
So-
There's a certain
so-
place in Derry, Stoke, Londonderry, everywhere every night. I've stopped going to it for that reason. The very last song is, start spreading the news.
You see,
We're leaving to everybody, follow the accountants.
no, I would agree. I would rather hear Love Letters in the Sand than start spreading.
Well, you
the
see,
news.
there's no telling what drunken accountants will ask for.
You see, and now when I was
The worst
coming-
thing I ever saw, actually, was I went to this dance. one
That's
time.
amazing you're talking about that. Go on, finish, please.
No, go ahead.
No.
No,
you
you
went. No,
first.
you went to a
You
dance.
first.
Then I come back to you. You went to a
Yes,
dance.
come back to me then.
That's your lead in. Okay.
come back to me then.
Now it's funny that you should mention that about what the younger people think of the older songs.
Yes.
I thought the exact same thing this morning, driving down to work, and I was listening to a radio station, and there was playing some, I don't know, Lady Gaga or whatever, and then followed by woke up this morning feeling fine.
That's enough.
And I start tapping the steering wheel, and I'm singing along with it.
You
And I'm
didn't, but Lady Gaga did nothing for you.
Exactly, and I'm singing along with it. I'm saying, I wonder what people of a younger generation think of Peter Noon.
Who was in Herman's House.
Who was who was the lead singer with Herman's House.
Well,
so
that's-
exact same thing thought me.
Well, isn't
what
that
do
funny?
Young people think of the as we call it, the 60s music. But I think a lot of them like it.
Well, you
Emma,
see,
do you like 60s music? Yes, Emma being a young girl.
yeah.
Emma
I'm
likes 60s music.
But what do they think of people like, well, you see, if I was still playing in bands, I'd be a funny looking sight now, wouldn't I?
I think you would be quite acceptable on stage.
I wouldn't
I think
do
you. I think you've weathered well.
Thank you.
Not at all.
unusual.
Both you and Wendy.
What are you after?
That's what you said yesterday.
What are you after?
I'm after nothing. I would say you would look acceptable on the stage, standing with your bass guitar and playing. You would not look out of place.
I think I should make a comeback.
There's no reason why you shouldn't. Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't be earning a few bob if it pleased you, the music you were playing, and why
I couldn't.
Why shouldn't you be doing it?
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't like to do it.
Would you like? No, seriously.
No, I
would
wouldn't.
you like to do it? Playing the music that maybe you would like to play, not.
No, I played enough.
To a handful of people who were appreciating what you were playing.
No, this is the thing that people don't understand. Now, I was going to say something, but I won't say that. Whenever you see boys like me on stage, you look at on stage and you say, there's a man doing what he really wants to do. That's not a man really doing what he wants to do at all. That's a man trying to make a few quid. See, whenever you do what it is, see, pop music is a very unusual thing. Because actually, if you have any talent at all, you see, it's very... Do you know what juvenilia is?
What?
Juvenilia.
No, tell me.
Juvenilia is when you have an interest in something and your first stab at it is always kind of amateurish and childish. Well, rock and roll
Juvenile.
is the only field where juvenilia is as far as you can go. Because your first stab at it is the best that you'll ever be, because it's so simple and primitive and it's visceral. So when you're 18 or 19, when you're playing music, that's as good as you're ever going to be. And that's your career.
Surely not.
I'm telling you. And that's as good as you're ever going to
So
be.
you started off playing rock and roll music, and did you not become an accomplished bass player? Actually voted the best bass player in Ireland at one time?
Yeah, I was 22.
You know.
It's all downhill from there.
No, but you started
let's
playing
not
when
get
you were...
bogged down in
you
this.
started playing when you were 14.
Yes, but
so
that's
you
not-
improved greatly.
No, but see, this rock and roll is the only profession, should I say, where you peak when you're 22 and you don't get any better. And when you look back when you're like 55 and 60...
So
you know,
Keith Richards there would never have improved.
Not really.
Not really, but you're saying not really, but he could have.
No, I don't think so, no.
You
no.
see, you don't think so?
No, because I saw a film the other day, which I went to great pains to look at. It was called Hail, Hail, Rock and Roll. It was a documentary about Chuck Berry, which was made in 1986 by Keith Richards. And he was just as good a player then as he is now, Keith Richards. He was no better. And he was the same player then as he was 20 years before that.
Well, I
People
would
don't get
argue
any
with you
better.
because you are an accomplished musician. I will
Stop.
not question you.
This is a real muso talk. We
I
can't talk
remember.
about
Do you see that time you were voted the best bass player in Ireland?
in the world. Yeah.
We were all ever so proud of you.
Thank you.
In the town. Do you realise that?
I didn't
You
know.
were there before Dana.
I know.
Had we had got
kinds
you,
of
had we had
everything.
got you, we'd have carried you shoulder high around the Roswell Flats.
If Donna and I had have made it, think what that child would have been. That child would have been representative of all this good and talented.
Yeah.
Listen now,
What did you
there's
get
something.
for that?
Pardon?
As a matter of interest, what did you get for that?
Get for what?
That award, that been voted the best bass player in Ireland.
I
I
got
remember
this.
your photograph was on the front of Spotlight.
That's right. Yes.
I remember that.
Oh, heady days.
What did you get?
I couldn't go out. The women used to be around me. I didn't get anything. I got satisfaction. And you know, that's what something I couldn't get before. Because I couldn't get no satisfaction. Here, listen, this won't go away. A man in America, we shouldn't be talking about that. It's a very musical conversation. I'm sorry, we probably lost half the listeners. Welcome back, Mr. Anderson. I am James, son of Jim.
James.
It was lonely without you. Being trapped to a radiator in a dripping cold cell, surviving on cockroaches and impending death would have been preferable to listening to those two. That's you and Gerry Kelly. If you don't play Wild Mountain Time by Simon Felice, the greatest version ever, myself and New York exiled Frankie Brigade, these are people in New York who listen to this programme, will be en route when you run the New York Marathon to shout verbal abuse in November and lace your path with banana claymores. You've no excuse. I'm off to finish Empire of the Summer Moon, which I've no doubt you read. I haven't read that. Cheers and welcome back. Hopefully you are making a documentary about the Old West. The History Channel has just commissioned a piece on the Civil War to be directed by Ridley and Tony Scott. That's nothing to do with anything. Listen, I've been remiss. I've been very bad this
You
past couple
listen
of
to
days.
me now. You're creating quite a stir in America with your marathon run.
Indeed, yes.
Because I got an email from a gentleman who's living in Virginia.
Yes.
And he's a former Coleraine goalkeeper,
Wow.
Eddie Crossan and his wife Anne.
Yes.
And they listen to Radio Foyle and Radio Ulster.
On a regular basis.
And they have heard that you're running the marathon.
Yes.
And they are coming to New York to see you. My wife's cousins, a lot of her cousins, are a big connection in America, in New York. They want to know the date. I'm asking, am I coming over along with you? They're
I think it's November 5th or 6th. I'm not quite sure. I think it's the 6th.
So it's quite a...
That's good. Yes, I'm very delighted that people are taking the interest. Because, you know, it's a big moment for me. It's a big year for me. This could be the end of me, basically.
And by the way, the local press want to know when you'll be starting your training because they want to be there.
Well, it's not a matter of actually beginning. It begins in the head, and then it moves down to the feet. And there's no actual day when a man just bursts out like a kind of a chrysalis. I don't know what a chrysalis is.
No, but you must start walking first.
I have already started walking away from the glare of the camera. And no camera has pictured me walking yet. But I've been walking for some time. Listen, let's get back down to mundane matters. There are people out there whose, well...
Back to your first story.
I can't remember what it was.
I was at a dance.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
All right.
A lady called Maria from Gerry bus station rang me yesterday, a very nice lady, and someone had lost a set of keys round about the vicinity of Gerry. I think it was in the bus or whatever it was. There was a key, there was a house key and a car key in it. Yeah. Well, Maria says she has those keys in Gerry bus station. So the person who rang me about that, I of course wrote everything down. I wrote everything down on a piece of paper and promptly lost it. So give her a ring at Gerry bus station. It's 028302 63531. And another one, a lady rang me personally about
So if they
dog.
just contact the bus station?
That's right. I just gave them the number of the bus station.
All right.
And a lady contacted me about a black Labrador, a young black Labrador that had been lost called Laura. And I lost that piece of paper as well. You see, this is what happens when you people don't care about anything. I have to do all the stuff myself. And
I
I'm
gave
so
you a
busy.
great line for yesterday for that. You never used it.
Anyway.
Tell Laura I lost her.
Tell Laura I lost her. Anyway, a gentleman rang up and said that he thinks he has seen that dog. So if you give me a ring, I can give you his number. I think Emma is in possession of the details there. And the gentleman writes to me and says...
There's a wee call.
That's okay. Joe Mahan's programme on Tuesday night must be a contender for an award. To see chunks of hot limestone bubble and turn into lime was truly magical.
I missed Joe on Tuesday night.
Joe Bubble and Stone.
I missed that.
Eh?
The
The old alchemist, the old artificer.
Right.
Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Yes, who's this, I wonder?
this is Miranda Rosenberg.
Maria. Oh, hello. I've never met you before. Miranda, is it?
It is. It's Miranda Rosenberg.
I've never met you before, but I know of you, and I've heard your music. You're a fine, fine singer.
Oh, thank you very much. I do my best.
Yes, and do you live in Donegal? Isn't that it?
I do. I live in Letterkenny.
Why have we never met?
I don't know. You've been very lax.
I have been lax. You see, what happens is I've the wrong people around me. You see, what happens is normally a star of my dimensions, a star of my magnitude, would have a lot of people around who are working for him, but unfortunately, I'm in the position of having to fight the people who are working against me, who are trying to get me sacked. And many is the thing that I should do, I never get to do. I mean, I became aware of your music, and I always said to myself, I must contact that young lady and try and make some reason to meet her, and I never have done. And here you are, coming out of the blue. Lovely to talk to you.
It's lovely to talk to you. I had to chase you down.
Well, that's what I like to hear. Well, tell me, what are you doing these days, and what are you up to?
Well, I'll tell you, I have organized a music festival for autism in Letterkenny.
Oh, good girl. Tell me about that.
We have 2 days of music, 27 bands. Aslan's coming, the Miami Show Band's coming. Mary Coughlin, the singer, is coming.
Oh.
I've learned to differentiate and make sure I say the singer. We have loads and loads of fantastic bands coming up, and all the money's just for the autism family support groups that are here.
And when are you doing that?
The 26th and the 27th, so this Saturday and Sunday at the Mount Arundel in Letterkenny.
This Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! And do people get tickets, or what do they do? Or just arrive, or what happens?
Well, you can just arrive, but I would suggest you get your tickets in advance. You can get them from the Mount Arundel, or you can go to www.ribbonrhythm.com.
Okay. And are you going to? Will you be appearing yourself? Will you be singing?
I will, and I did something very selfish. I absolutely adore Henry McCullough.
Oh, so do
And
I.
I booked him. We have a blues stage on Saturday with Lee Headley and the Pontiac's Blues Band and Gronia Duffy and Mark Black and myself. So I put myself on right before Henry McCullough so I can do my bit and then just sit and soak in the yummy goodness that is Henry McCullough.
Okay, so you can do your singing, then go and get a bottle of stout and sit and listen to Henry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. You tell Henry I said hello. Henry's a good friend of mine. I love him.
I will do. I'm so selfish. I built a music festival that I would love. There's so many different kinds of music. So I can go listen to a bit of rock and go listen to a bit of blues and listen to a bit of country swing.
That sounds great. There's some great names there, and it looks as if it might be quite a decent weekend weather-wise.
Even if it's not, it's all in the one venue. The Mount Erical has 2 giant function rooms.
All right then. So that's this. Is it this Friday and Saturday? Did you say, or Saturday and Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, in the Mount Erical Inn in Letterkenny. Fine names. Mary Coughlin, Henry McCullough, yourself, of course. You're a wonderful-looking woman.
I kind of try to keep myself looking good for you because I've been, angling to get into the studio with you.
Well, I think we should do that. Tell me a wee bit about yourself. How did you end up in Donegal? Were you born there? Because your accent is quite strange. I'm not quite sure where you're from.
I am from outside of Washington, D.C.
Oh, there you are, you
But
see.
I've been here for nearly 6 years, so I claim to be an Ulster woman now.
Okay, now, can I be personal and ask you how you ended up here? Did you meet some strange man who brought you over here, or did you come over on your own bat?
No, I came here for the same reason every woman comes here. I came here with a man.
Oh, did you?
I did, but now I'm all on my very, very own.
That's what I like to hear. Well, listen, we'll have to get together and do a little session sometime in the radio if you fancy that, do you? Because you're a wonderful singer.
You're only up the road.
I am indeed. Okay, well, listen now, I'll contact you and we'll organise that. In the meantime, anyone who wants to hear you and everyone else, go down to Letterkenny, the Mount Erical, on Saturday and Sunday. And it's a pleasure to talk to you finally.
Thank you, sir. I'm delighted to talk to you. I'm well satisfied now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
All right, now, bye.
Bye, bye, bye. I think she liked me.
I think so, yeah. There's a bit of chemistry there.
I thought that.
Yes, yes.
Do you not think that's very rare, that, you
Yes,
know? The people talk to me and they really mistrust me.
Yeah.
She seemed to open herself up to me, and she liked me, and she could tell that I was a good person, because you know what she sensed? She sensed the inner goodness within me, and I indeed sensed the inner goodness within her. I think her and I could be...
like you saying you adore Henry.
Did I say that?
I adore Henry.
I'm sorry.
I adore Henry.
That was a William Crawley word. I don't know how it crept out.
There's a call on too.
I'm sorry, it's like saying it's rather cold today.
I adore Henry.
I adore Henry. Well, in a way I do, but it's not the word I use.
No, it's the wrong word.
No, it's not a Celtic word. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Yes, hello.
You are a hopeless flirt.
I know I am. I can't help it.
That I'm 34 years of age, and that was a lesson for any young man there in Sleaze.
In Sleaze? Excuse me?
Oh, definitely.
No, but
the way you work the angles, you started off, you were like a wee jittering schoolboy, and then it come round to that. And what are you doing now? And you found out she was single,
right.
and your wee eyes must have lit up.
My little piggy eyes.
I'd say you'll be in Letterkenny this weekend. With a droppy old face on you.
I'll make her come to me. No, you never go. You never go. You never go to them. No, but you don't understand.
Sometimes you're having a choice.
No, you don't understand. That girl. I've seen photographs of that girl. I've heard she's a wonderful, wonderful singer.
I've heard her on Ralph McLean's show. She was brilliant.
And she's a beautiful, beautiful looking girl. And I've been waiting for her to contact me for so long. I'm like quiet, never mind you.
Wants to talk to you.
I'm like a spider in a web, waiting for these people to come to me.
I'd say you're more like a fly round.
No, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Peter,
Yes.
tell him.
No, if you would let Peter talk.
Well, look, I'm letting him talk,
No,
and he's
but
talking
you-
about flies around shite.
No. Right, yes, Peter.
Nay.
Go, Peter.
Gerry.
Yes.
Hello?
That
Yes.
silence means that you're to talk.
Right, what I'm ringing you for is, tell us the story about the dance.
I can't remember what it was now.
Ah, come on now. You must have been something about a song or something that they played.
I have no idea. I was talking to him in there.
Right, make something up then.
No, I can't do that. And I remember, I remembered one specific story, but it's flown out of my head. I don't know what it is.
The other thing,
I may remember during the course of the news when they're talking about the election down south, and I'll be switched off.
Darren, it's good to have you back anyway, because I was getting sick of Sean there the other week. It's just Blue Rent's music he was playing.
Did you hear that, Sean? He was
Thanks,
getting
Peter.
sick of you.
Thanks, Peter.
I'm sorry, Sean,
No,
but
it's all right,
I mean,
Peter. It's all right, Peter.
you know, it's good
Peter,
to have
I think
a
it's
bit of
important.
variety.
Peter, I don't think there's any point in being on the radio
If you don't
and
mind
not
telling
saying
the
what you
truth.
think.
That's correct.
The sound's
Okay.
all over the place because there's something weird happening here.
There's sounds.
Is Ken twiddling his knobs in
I
the storeroom?
don't know what's going on. There's
All right then. Peter, thank you.
But there's
Not a
something-
problem,
Peter
Gerry.
wanted-
Good luck.
Peter wanted something else.
Did he?
Well, he said he
Well,
did.
why doesn't he say something?
Sure, I just asked you about the story about the dance.
No, then you said there was something else.
Yes.
What?
Sean's, that fortnight with Sean.
Oh.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
A living death?
Sitting in the back of my dad's old Cortina, his Park Drive smoke-filled Cortina, going on holidays, listening to that old garbage and tapes, and just crying my eyes out in the back seat, wanting to go home.
And feeling your lungs disintegrate.
Yes.
That's the same feeling. Yes, that's people have said that's what it's like to listen to you, Sean.
Yeah.
I
As
hope you
much
don't
as
take
we-
this as an insult.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
No, he
Peter.
does not.
thank you, Peter. Thank you for saying what
All the
what you
best. Now,
think.
good luck.
Bye.
I don't know what to say.
Say nothing. Pretend he didn't say anything.
I encourage.
You see, you got that out of him.
Yes, I encourage them.
Why didn't you just leave it?
No.
Drive out to the ocean just to gaze out to the sea. You see us coming, you run away from me. We all know that you're alive, and we watch you try and hide, but you don't know that we'll try and find you again. I wish you wore glasses, then I'd look so cool. She wears them in her hair every day at school. I swapped my brother for a Pokemon card. Shiny jumps on. We want you to be free, but can you still not stay with me? Monopoly every night. Get out of jail for free. We all know that you're alive, and we want you try and hide, but you don't know that we'll try and find you. I wish we had a car and we could run so fast. We could make it out of here, 'cause I don't look back. And then we fall from the top and they stare at us, but I don't know why. We know we're young and we don't know, but we'll still have fun and we'll make a show. I wish we had the time, we could write it down, but I don't know where. I wish you wore glasses, then I look so cool. She wears them in her hair every day at school. I swapped my brother for a Pokemon card. Shiny just on. I wish you wore glasses, then I look so cool. She wears them in her hair every day at school. I swapped my brother for a Pokemon card. Shiny just
That's a local band from Derrystoke, London, Derry, called the Wonder Villains. Why am I echoing? Things are echoing in my ear. What's Ken doing? There's something happening here. Everything I say is coming back to my head. What is this?
A man come in and press on over your shoulder.
Well, tell him not to do that again. Tell him to come in and unpress it. That's a band called the Wonder Villains. Look, I'm going... Blah, 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 blah. Can you hear that?
No, we can't hear. Don't
I
you?
can hear it me every time I hear something that's coming back again.
The man's coming in again.
Go and press that thing that you did press.
Undo.
That's it.
Yes.
Go on, press that one. Press
Yes.
that one. Press that one. That's it.
Is that better now?
No, it's not better.
No. Well, where's Ken when you
I
need
don't know
him?
where Ken is. Where is he? I can't do anything about this. That's okay. It's all right. I can handle it. That's from an album called Oh Yeah Contenders. That's the Wonder Villains, and that's a song called Ferrari.
What's he doing in Letterkenny?
What?
What's Ken doing in Letterkenny?
I think he may be up there setting up some kind of fiendish apparatus to inflict upon us the coverage of the South of Ireland election, which will start tomorrow.
What's it got to do with Ken?
Ken is a BBC engineer, and Ken will do whatever he's told to do.
I thought he
or
was
else they say,
standing in the election.
you will not be paid. He will do it. He will do whatever is necessary to make sure that we're all bored to tears during the election.
On 92 to 95 FM,
and 1341 medium wave.
this is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock, I'm Martin Montague. An 18-year-old man's been stabbed and his female friend sprayed in the face with an aerosol by muggers in Belfast city centre. They were attacked by two youths in Music Hall Lane at about 8 o'clock last night. The man was stabbed in the back several times. His injuries aren't believed to be life-threatening. The two attackers took a mobile phone from the couple during the incident. David Cameron has apologised for the delays in evacuating British nationals from Libya. He said the government needed to learn the lessons from what happened. One flight was due to leave yesterday, but technical problems meant it's only now on its way. A second flight is due to fly in from Tripoli later. An aircraft chartered by BP landed at Gatwick this morning. Mr. Cameron says they're doing everything possible to get people out of Libya.
There is nothing more important than getting these people home. They are our citizens, our nationals. We're doing everything we can to get them home. This morning, I can tell you, there were 2 flights have taken off from Tripoli, full of British citizens. There's a third on the tarmac, and we are currently, as we speak, carrying out a sweep of the airport to make sure there are no other British nationals there who we need to take home.
The British Retailers Association says fuel could rise by 5 pence per litre because of the unrest in the Middle East and North Africa, which has led to an increase in oil prices. The cost of Brent crude is at its highest level for 2.5 years. The PSNI have renewed an appeal for information about the murder of Kieran Doherty in Londonderry on the first anniversary of his death. Mr Doherty, who was 31, was a member of the real IRA and was killed by that organisation. His family have always claimed there'd been MI5 involvement in the killing. His sister Leanne says the family want to know what happened.
We need the answers. We just need the answers. Something should have been found out by now. Somebody questioned, arrested or something.
The Ulster Bank on both sides of the border made a loss last year of £761 million. It made an operating profit of £400 million, but bad debts turned that into a loss. And U2 will be one of the headline acts at this year's Glastonbury Festival. They had to pull out of last year's event when Bono suffered a back injury. Now with the weather details, here's Lara Lewington.
The cloud is thinning as we move through the day, and we're going to be seeing plenty of sunny spells. Those temperatures up to 15 degrees Celsius, a few degrees above the average for this time of year. Tonight's going to be starting off dry, then we're going to see some patchy drizzle leading way into some rain. Temperatures down to 8 degrees Celsius, but throughout tomorrow morning that rain should be clearing.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
Roadworks on the A3 between Portadown and Armagh continue to affect traffic towards Armagh between Mahans Road and Legacorry Road. Diversions are in place via Hamilton's Bawn Road until tomorrow. In Maherafelt, Lurgan Road is closed between the A6 Glenshean Road and Clooney Road. And in Belfast, one lane is closed on the Stramillis Road between Sherman Road and Richmond Park. That's during off-peak times until the beginning of April. Delays can be expected. Eileen Moyna reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, is a lack of investment and opportunity stoking the dissidents' fire here? Former Army officer Patrick Mercer tells us why he's more worried about Republicans than Al-Qaeda. Have you a gambling addiction? It's a big problem in Northern Ireland. Would opening the bookies on a Sunday help you? That's the Minister's idea. Bit of a long shot? We'll discuss. Call me on that one. East Belfast woman Dawn Andrews still searching after 5 years. She talks about her daughter abducted to Algeria. And David Cameron apologises for the British Libyan rescue effort. We'll hear from some of those who have got out. If you know any of them, give us a call. Send me a tweet at Wendy Talks Back. And join the debate on Talkback at 12. Thanks, Wendy. When's somebody going to send us a plane and get us out of Northern Ireland? It has to be done soon.
Listen, I've travelled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've travelled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Bangor, Bellarina, Benburb, Lisbon City, Ballantoy, Pomeroy, Brushing, So Pretty, Lisnaskey, Tendergee, Money, Glass Points, Pass, Killalay, Monterey, Sign Mills, Fork Hill, Helens Bay, Kilray, Donegal, Mullaghmore, Ockapoka, Farmertown, Akadooey, Draperstown. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Ballymena, Armoy, Belcoo, Aughnacloy, Kerrybridge, Carrador, Castle Dawson, Moneymore, Carryduff, Coleraine, Cookstown, Lisbane, Enniskillen, Derrylin, Jonesboro's where I've been, Cullyhanna, Tobermore, Ballyhalbert, Abbashaw, Brookborough, Drummondess, North, South, East, West. I've been everywhere.
Nobody understands the typewriter song anymore because nobody knows what a typewriter is.
Yeah. Only Jackie Fullerton.
He's the only one.
You gotta get it. You gotta get it. Don't forget it doesn't come around again. You gotta get it. You gotta get it and you gotta get it good. Once I had a little Spanish guitar. My neighbors told me I could go pretty far. Well, I came and I went, and my guitar got bent. But I discovered that the people who love are what we need if we get up above it all. And that's that, unless the world is flat. I wanna get it, I wanna get it just in case it doesn't come around again. I wanna get it, I wanna get it and I wanna get it good. Pardon me if I've been misunderstood. I wanna get it while the going is good. The telephone rang about a song I sang. The life of Cadillac and Ultra for sure is automatic for the lady demure. She came and she went without a single dent. You gotta get it, you gotta get it, don't forget it doesn't come around again. You gotta get it, you gotta get it and you gotta get it good. I hear you. Go, kid. Come on, let's get it. You gotta get it, don't forget it doesn't come around again. You gotta get it. You gotta get it and you gotta get it
good. That's Carl Perkins and I was going to say Paul McCauley, but it's Paul McCartney. Yeah. That's a song called "Gonna Get It."
I like that.
It's good, yeah. It's two old pros. Carl Perkins, of course, is now gone, but Paul McCartney is still, I have to say, happily with us.
Yes. See the man that
the way we met him.
I'd never forget that.
I know you'll never forget it. That's why I mentioned it.
Because you told me to wise up.
I didn't tell you to wise up.
You did.
Did I not realise it was him right away?
No, because you were being interviewed at the time.
That's right. By whom? I can't remember. That started at the beginning.
No, I'm sorry. You were interviewing someone.
Let's start at the beginning. Okay. You and I, for reasons best known to ourselves, found ourselves sitting beside the pool in the Beverly Hills Hotel.
No, we were in the restaurant.
All right, then the restaurant.
Okay.
In the Beverly Hills Hotel in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And
you were interviewing a young girl from Northern Ireland who was one of the managers of the hotel.
And I was.
Do you remember that?
Yes, and I was asking her.
And you were asking her questions.
The usual question.
Yes.
Oh, tell me this. How come a wee girl like yourself from Northern Ireland is doing so well in this big city?
Aye.
That's what you always have to say.
You see, and I was
whenever you go, no, how do we stop it?
Relax, I thought you wanted me to tell you the story.
I know, but not right away.
That's
one of the things you must
dress
always.
It up.
Why can't you just stop talking for a minute? All I'm saying is, whenever you send people from Northern Ireland away to America or Australia or Bahrain or Saudi Arabia or Russia, you always have to ask the standard question. Now, I remember a man saying to me, he says, this is the way you have to put it. He says, you have to say, how come a wee girl like you...
Who said that to you?
I'm not going to say.
You never said that to her.
No. I was speaking to a young lady who became, well, a star, basically. I won't go any further than that.
Right.
A girl from Northern Ireland. Let's say, for the benefit of, well, let's say she's from Omagh. She wasn't from Omagh. But I don't want to identify her. If I say where she's from, it'll identify her.
Right.
And I'm going to do this interview with her. And it's a television program, and the director of the television program, he says, say the first question, he says, here's your first question. Say to her, how does it feel to be a wee girl from Omagh doing what you're doing now? And I said, I'm not going to say that. He said, you have to say that because it makes you appear humble and it makes her feel better. And all the listeners want you to say that. I said, why didn't I just say, how are you getting on? Tell me what you're doing. He said, no, you have to say, how does it feel to be a wee girl from Omagh out here doing all these wonderful things. And I said, why wouldn't a wee girl from Omagh go out and do these wonderful things? No, but you have to appear as if it's a very, very, very unusual thing that nobody from Omagh will ever be able to do anything that you're doing.
Would you not say to her, you're from Omagh? You know.
No, but she knows she's from Omagh.
You say, you're from Omagh. How did you end up here in Los Angeles?
Yes, I would have said that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
what he wanted me to say, how come a wee girl from Omagh gets to do all these wonderful things that you're doing?
Well, how did the wee girl from Omagh get to the hotel? I'm talking about the wee girl in the hotel.
I don't remember who she was.
It's a wee girl.
But that's not the point. I was interviewing this wee girl in the hotel saying, tell me this, how come a wee girl from Auchnacloy like yourself ends up in the Beverly Hills Hotel along with all those swanky people?
And you were having breakfast at the time.
Having breakfast
We were
at the
having
time.
breakfast, and I was sitting drinking.
Not me bacon, those bacon that crumbles away in your mouth.
I was drinking an orange juice.
And vodka.
No, orange. And I was just sitting there because I was minding my own business, just between you and the girl that you were the interviewee.
Yes.
And I looked up the corner of the restaurant, and there was the man sitting with the man with the bad wig. He had a bad wig. Do you remember?
A very bad wig.
He had a very bad wig, and he was sitting with his very bad wig, and I says, I know him. But I couldn't say to you because you were conducting an interview. I said, he looks like someone to myself. I said, I can't place him. And all the time it was annoying me, and I wanted to interrupt you, but I couldn't interrupt. I didn't interrupt you then, you see. You know. And
no, because I was too busy saying, how come a wee girl like you from Auchnacloy is over here doing these wonderful things in this big city?
And I said, that's the man that sang about his blue suede shoes.
And then he stood up and he went, one for the money,
that's
two
the
for
that's
show,
the big that's
three to
big
get
that's
a
big
ring
thing.
on
And I
the
kept saying, that's big thing, big
Carl
thing.
Perkins.
But I couldn't, at the time, I couldn't get the name to myself. And I was ever so excited. And then when it was all over, I said to you, I said, look, it came to me, I said, there's Carl Perkins. And you said to me, wise up. I said, no, look, that man up there, it's Carl Perkins. What would Carl Perkins be doing sitting in the Beverly Hills Hotel this time of the morning? Wise up.
And then I went over, do you remember what I did? I went over and I said to him...
You said, good morning, Mr. Perkins.
No, I remember I went over and I said to him, what's a wee fellow like you with a bad wig sitting there in a big important hotel like this with people like us? I wonder if you'd mind playing a request for my husband John, says Valerie Crawford. As you know, Gerry, he suffers from Parkinson's disease, and it's his birthday at the weekend. Unfortunately, he has to go into hospital for a few weeks. He's such a wonderful person, and he battles the illness extremely well, even though it's difficult for him. I'm so proud of him and love him dearly. Would it be possible to have something by Barry Fleming? If not, Gerry, then something nice of your choice. Thanks a million. It's good to have you back. That's from Valerie. I don't have anything by Barry at the moment, but I think I might be able to find something for tomorrow, unless you have something available there. Of course, which you won't. And some messages here. Hi, Sean. If flirting was a sporting activity, Gerry would have no bother finishing the marathon. People are indicating that I'm somewhat sleazy and lecherous. But it's not that. It's just that I'm friendly. I've always been friendly. And I've always enjoyed...
Girls.
I love girls. No, I love talking to girls. I can't talk to men. We've talked about this before.
I know.
I hate men. Women understand me. They see what's inside me. They see inside me is a lecher. Evelyn and Dundonald said Sean's 2 weeks doing the show was the best music she ever heard on the radio. She's writing from the Independent Ear Clinic in Malone Road. And a lady called Michelle says, the other night at a posh hotel, I was out in the smoking area. I spoke to a man who was there for the weekend with his wife. Another man came out for a smoke and immediately announced, isn't this effing lovely? Standing out here in the freezing cold, the effing rain coming at us horizontally. I said to him, I detect a hint of sarcasm in your voice. He carried on complaining, but I interrupted with, if you didn't come out of here, you wouldn't have had the opportunity or the pleasure of speaking or meeting me. I turned to the married man and said, don't you agree that if we didn't smoke, we possibly would never have spoken? We're all sitting in the lounge with our partners. How would you like it if I came over to you and your wife said, hello, mind if I join you? He said, I wouldn't mind. I said, maybe, but your wife might be too pleased. I turned back to the complaining man. He said he was on his own. I said, well, how would you like it if I approached you and said, hi, mind if I join you? He said he'd love it. So much for my philosophical lectures. See, men are all the same. They just want the same thing, free fags and drinking. But see, this is great. Every time I look, I've been glancing intermittently at the television, especially in RTE, and I keep seeing that face of Michael Martin. Do you know who Michael Martin is?
Yes. Micheál
Martin.
Yeah.
And I look at him and I say, that man has got away with it. That man has got away. That's the man who killed the Irish pub. And why could anybody vote for him? Vote for the man who killed the Irish pub. He's the man who, when he was health minister, brought in the smoking ban. which destroyed Ireland.
Ways up.
I'm telling you, that was the start of it.
Not at all.
Because that was the first country that brought in a universal blanket smoking ban, and everybody else did it because all the politicians, none of them smoke, you see, because they want to live longer so they can eat more big feeds and screw more money out of people. So they don't care. They don't want to die. So the caller says you were asked to play in a show band in the Memorial Hall in Derry, Londonderry a while back, but you said no, and wisely so. You see, I can't
What?
sing. Wisely so. I said no, and wisely so. Because I know when to stop. I know men, and they shall be nameless. I know men who are still up singing and doing their stuff, and these men are over 60 years old and singing the same songs that they were singing when they were 20. There comes a time when you have to stop. The only reason why you can do it is if you're absolutely destitute. And I haven't reached that stage yet. Of course, the income tax people haven't caught me yet. Jerry, big difference in doing what you want to do and doing what you have to do. Exactly. That's my whole point. There's no reason for a man, any man who gets up on stage who's 65 years old with baldy and a wee ponytail and singing Lodi or Eagles songs. If he's doing it for pleasure, he should be shit. He must only do it for money. I have 3 teenage boys, 17, 18, 19. They love 60s music. That's because 60s music was so primitive and dull. No, not dull, but so primitive and elementary that it appeals naturally to the youngest and stupidest of people. Morning, Jerry and all the team. Can you play some Red Hot Chili Pipers for a good friend of mine called Jonathan Black? Many thanks and great show. I'm listening at work. That's Sally Ann in Omagh. And I can say this to Sally. Sally, what's a wee girl like you from Omagh doing sitting listening to a man like me on the radio, for God's sake? Jerry, do you remember the Inn in the Park in Dungannon?
Well, do you? What's so special about it?
Something happened there.
Well,
no, I can't. No, I can't. No, something happened there that involved me.
Did it make the press?
No. No.
Okay, we'll not go any further.
Because
okay.
that man said, "Do you remember the Inn in the Park in Dungannon?" It makes me feel as if perhaps he was there.
Right.
Something happened there.
Right, okay.
Something unsavoury, which was entirely my fault.
Who played the typewriter song, we've been asked?
It was, let me see, a country and western band actually called Rawhide. And that was a ukulele and banjos and stuff, which are extremely difficult to play. And that's from an album called 10 Years of European World of Bluegrass. America and Europe join hands. And that was out in the year 2007. And it can be got on the worst thing about CDs, they tell you nahan, all be tiny, Strictly Country Records, the Netherlands. Strictly Country Records, 10 Years of European World of Bluegrass. It's a double CD and it's excellent. And that track is on it. I like that because of the complexity of the playing is Rawhide, and it's called The Typewriter. Back to the music. Back to the text. Can you say hi? I'm a wee bit disjointed today.
Yes, I don't like you today.
Oh, do you know what's wrong with me today?
You're angry. There's an anger there. There's a burning, simmering anger there.
No, there's not.
There is.
There's not.
Because I hear you've been angry about 60s and music and show bands. And you know what... I'm not angry! Do you know what gets to me about you?
What?
You, for years and years and years, you've been leading this campaign about the 60s music and the show band music in particular, how bad it was.
Yes.
Yet when you get on television, you never tell the truth.
I do tell the truth.
You do not?
Well,
not one of your television programmes about show band scene have you told what you say on the radio on television.
I wrote a book about it.
You never said it on television, I said.
I was never asked on television.
Yes, you did. Yes, you were.
When was I on television?
You had a number of years ago. You did a television program travelling all around by the ballroom of romance and places like and talking. You talked to Brian Call and you.
You won an award for that.
But you never told what you really feel
That's
about.
Because
the
I was
show
getting
band.
paid money to say it.
You see, because you come on and you made a program with the show bands, the program that people wanted to make. But instead of you saying, no, I have no time for show band music at all. It's rotten. It was crap. It was a fraud. Which is what you say about it. That's what you say about it on the radio. But you wouldn't come on television and said, but no, you were saying, oh, look, I remember this.
That was a number of years ago when I was a different person.
Maybe you're a different person. You've been condemning show band music from ever I know you.
No, when I was asked to do it, I was asked to do it by a good friend of mine, and I was asked not to be nasty and vicious. And I was asked to just do what I was told, and he said he'd give me lots of money, so I did it. I'm not proud of it. Can you say hi to Lily and Harry Gribben? They live in England. Harry is blind and can't go out. He listens to the programme every morning. They're from here. Good morning, Harry. I'm glad to have you aboard. Would Gerry or anyone know where they can get short, humorous sketches?
A man wants to ask you a question in one.
Yeah, what?
Eh?
What's a wee fella like me from Derry doing the radio? What?
No, man's...
Well, ask him. Where's the question? Have you got it there? Oh, is he on the line or something?
The man's on the line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Why didn't you just say that? I mean, what am I, some kind of mind reader? Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Geordie, how are you? 2 days in a row, this is becoming a habit.
You're a busy man.
That's all right. No, I'm not. Never too busy to talk to you, Geordie.
Well, thank you. But I'm looking now, you know, this whole smoking ban and all.
I think it's the worst thing ever happened.
Oh, sure. How you wish.
Because boys like you don't go to pubs anymore.
Well, I'm looking at tin of snuff.
You're looking at a tin of snuff?
No, I'm looking at tin of
you're looking
snuff.
for a tin of snuff. Yeah?
Snuff.
Uh-huh. Is it hard to get these days?
Well, I can't get it nowhere in County Down.
Can you not?
No.
And County Down's a big place. Wouldn't you imagine there'd be somewhere you get snuff in County Down?
No.
Well, where did you last get it? Where was the last crop of snuff that you had?
It
Where did
was
you get
in County Tyrone.
And where did you get it? So you can't remember. Can you remember
A
where
wee
you bought
corner shop.
Corner shop. Right. So maybe someone can help. I mean, maybe perhaps this means that the snuff is disappearing from the face of the earth. What's going to happen? What?
Sorry, will you ask Geordie if he ever got his walking stick with the goat's horn handle?
Goat's horn handle?
Yes, I did.
That's from Joe the Joiner in Carrickfergus.
Yes, I got it.
Okay. And Joe wants to know, are you pleased with it?
Very, very pleased.
Oh, that's good.
Do you use it on a regular basis?
Oh, I do. There's a brass furlong that was near wore down.
Is that right? Listen, we'll try and get you some snuff then. Maybe perhaps someone will tell us. I mean, how much snuff would you go through a day there?
Oh, well, a 10 would do me a long time.
Would it?
You know, all the ladies used to have it, you know,
They did.
bit and snuffed it up their nostrils.
As a matter of fact, as I sit here, do you know that your nose is the most reliable organ in your body?
Oh, definitely.
And insert your own joke here.
Uh-huh.
No, it's the most reliable in your organ as regards memory. Now, for instance, if I say to you, Sean, tell me what it was like when you were a child going to school.
Yeah.
You'll tell me what you remember.
Yeah.
It'll probably completely wrong.
Yes.
Because you'll remember things, because over the years things have changed in your mind and things have changed. You think you know what happened and you think you know what you said to somebody. It all changes as time goes on. The only organ that never lies is your nose. Do you ever realise that whenever you walk? Do you ever walk down somewhere and suddenly the smell, and then suddenly you're back.
Back,
it could be 10 years ago. It could be when you were 5.
Yeah.
Now, the same thing happened. Do you know what it always happens to me? It always happens to me in Derry / Londonderry, down at the docks, right? And you're walking down, because I was born down there and I used to play in the docks along with the girls. And we used to go on the ships. And anyway, there used to be big piles of logs.
Yeah.
Pine.
Yes,
do you remember
that's
them?
right. Yes.
Pine
yes,
logs.
Yes.
And they used to load those onto the ships and take them away.
Aye.
Now, once they lie there for a day or two, which was quite often happened, the sap would come out of them.
Aye.
And as you walk past it, it's most wonderful, sickly, not sickly, but I suppose sickly in a way, strong smell of pine sap would just permeate. And it would be a mixture of that and the smell of the water. And I was walking down there the other day, and lo and behold, that smell just hit me like that. And suddenly, I was in short trousers. I was arrested. No, but suddenly I was like 8 years old, and I remembered exactly. Your nose never lies. That's all I wanted to say. I'm finished now. What does that man want? Where is he? Is he there? Geordie. Well, what? Anything else, Geordie?
No, it's not. No, just was in Cancer Care Shop the other day.
Yes.
And I've corduroy trousers.
Corduroy trousers, yeah.
And I've got a lovely coat to
Did
go
you?
with a corduroy trouser.
Did you buy the corduroy trousers there, or did you have them already?
Well, I had the trousers.
Uh-huh. All you required was a coat to go with the corduroy trousers.
And 2 lovely shirts.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting ready for this bus trip.
Indeed, yes. And I think it's commendable that you're making the effort.
Church Lane in Belfast, Miss Moran's shop in Church Lane.
Church Lane, I know where that
in
is.
Belfast. You get the snuff. People want to know, why does Geordie want the snuff, and what good does it do you, if any good at all?
What good does snuff do you? These
Yeah.
people, what do they know?
Well, I'm trying to quit the cigarettes.
Oh,
Well, see, that has always been a substitute. You see, what happens is when you get the snuff, do you put it on the back of your hand or you just sniff it
and
straight?
give it a wee snuff up your nostril.
It's just the same as it's cocaine or something.
Is it?
But the only thing is it affects you differently. You get a hit, the same hit that you get from cigarettes. Do you know that
Right.
nicotine hit?
Okay, Jerry.
Yes, indeed.
I know where the Blaze are putting her tail end bird down yet.
Well, we'll wait
I'm
for
watching.
we'll wait for the foal to appear.
Okay, Jerry.
Right then.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Bye. He's very abrupt there, Geordie, wasn't he? Hi, Gerry. Surreal and supernatural show this morning. You and Sean simultaneously telepathicating. Note for Sean, Dana did not play the bass guitar. Did you say Dana played the bass guitar?
I did not.
Carry on.
I
hallucinating.
said that you were the star. You would have been the star before Dana. Dana was our first star.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Indeed.
But had we had known, the people known about you and your bass
All they would have known.
award, yes.
Morning, Runny Pants and Shapeshifter Coil. Surely Dana and Sir Gerald did mate. Isn't Shauneen Coyle the result of this bump in the night? Coyle said they would carry you along the top of the Roswell Flats. The Roswell Flats. The Roswell Flats. Due to your bass guitar exploits, you would have thrown us at the Brits. Gerry, you're very mean to Sean. He was brilliant and his music was fab, says Doris. I can say no more. That person is obviously demented. Many requests to play this again. Stop coughing like that.
Would you stop putting on the microphone when I want to cough?
I don't know when you want to cough. This is the Dolly Birds, Broken Dog. Many requests for this.
You came to me with words of grace and hope, eloquent and true down my soul. Then I noticed a dirty gaping hole. Then I saw what you had gone and done. You left me standing here with a smoking gun. Of all the things you could have said, you went and left me here for dead. You left me standing here with a smoking gun. Now your fading beauty's gone away. Mouth wide open, nothing left to say. Seduction makes for such a painless fall. Break me into pieces like a doll. Every move is making sense. You're counting dollars, votes, and cents. You break me into pieces like a doll.
That's the Dolly Birds. That's a song called Broken Doll. The Belfast Nashville Festival is going apace. Kicked off last night. It's a very interesting gig on tomorrow night at the Crescent Arts Centre. And Martin Lynch is on the line. Martin, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Martin, this looks like a very interesting do entirely. Tell me all about it.
Well, it is. It's something I jumped at as soon as I was asked to take part because it's a very, very unique project altogether. The David Irvine Foundation has come together with the Belfast National Festival to put together an evening of song, debate, music. And at the centre of it all is the notion that an activity in the arts, particularly songwriting, drama and so on, film, television drama, can actually tackle issues with some neutrality that can't be done in any other way. Mm-hmm. So it's really centred around all of that, and people like Nancy Griffith and Gerry Green, the songwriters, will be taking part as well.
Yeah, I mean, Nancy Griffith, she's been a great champion of... she's got I remember talking to her a few times. She loves Belfast people, and has got a great feel for this place. And it's nice, it's a big name like that, taking part, in what is basically a kind of a fringe thing, I suppose, in a way. So that's Nancy Griffith and Gerry Green, and all the people that you're there yourself, of course.
Even little turn a debate with myself, Alan McBride from the Wave Trauma Group, Donald O'Connor, who recently starred in A Night with George, and Alistair Little, of course, whose life story was the centre of the film 5 Minutes of Heaven.
Alistair Little, yes. Liam Neeson played his part, didn't he?
Which, in my opinion, Jerry, is probably one of the best films to come out of Northern Ireland. I thought it was terrific.
I think so. Do you know what I thought was lovely about that? Because I'm not saying the roles were reversed, but in actual fact, anybody who knew thought it was quite interesting because Liam Neeson, of course, is from a kind of a nationalist, a Catholic background, and he played the part of the loyalist, and James Nesbitt is from a Protestant background, he played the part of the Provy. I thought it was really nice that.
Well, I think that's what drama does. For instance, I remember we did the Wedding Community play, and we had Protestants playing Catholics and Catholics playing Protestants, and it gives people an insight. I mean, it really, really does. It gives people an insight into how the other person thinks, what motivates them, what hurts them, and what inspires them, and so on. So it's a brilliant way of doing it.
And also, you realise that there's no difference between any of us.
That's
We're
right.
all the same, yeah. Because, if you say, right, Liam Neeson, no, he's a Protestant, no, he's a Catholic, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. He looks the same no matter what he does.
That's right. And we also have contributions from Jerry Kelly and Robin Newton, the two junior ministers of Stormont. And there's going to be a load of people from various political parties and police and so on in the audience. It seems to be like the whole core of working class politics over the last 30 years is going to be in this room, so it could be quite exciting.
Okay, so that's at the Crescent Arts Centre. That's tomorrow night between 5:30 and 7:30. And do people have to book, of course? I would imagine they'd have to.
I don't think so, Jerry. I haven't got information on that, but I think if they turn up, the fabulous new facilities at the Crescent Arts Centre, a lovely space with a kind of theatre, auditorium arrangement, and I'm sure everybody can be accommodated.
Yeah, and it seems to me as if the audience will be just as interesting as the people on the stage.
That's right. There'll be plenty of fruity exchanges, if you pardon the pun.
Funny enough, I heard Billy Bragg talking to someone yesterday, and he was asked on the radio if he thought that music or song made a difference to people, to politics, and he said not really. He said you just say something and you go away, and whatever's left in the back of their mind is the only thing you can do. And it's the same thing with drama too, in a way. You can't change anything by the drama itself, but it maybe triggers something in a person's mind that'll linger with them and maybe pop up in 2 or 3 years' time, and make him do something that he wouldn't normally do if he hadn't seen your drama.
I think that's probably true. Like, for instance, the last play we did, Chronicles of Long Cash, where I wrote a play about people that I wouldn't have politically supported and so on.
Yeah.
But trying to give everybody's angle, including the prison officer's angle, really, really threw a lot of people, or made people think at the end of the play. Republicans came in and saw the play and they thought, oh, I never thought a prison officer had a heart.
I never thought he was a human being.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, right.
And loyalists, the same about Republicans. So when you do that, in fact, in my opinion, the arts is the best way of exploring these issues and being able to attract people into seeing life in the other man's shoes. I mean, I've done a lot of sport down the years, Jerry, kicking balls up and down fields. It doesn't make you think in the way that the arts do. You know, that's my opinion. I've been involved in community and voluntary work. It does make you think the way the arts involve all your senses.
That's right,
all your
yeah.
cerebral capacity is all explored and challenged in the arts, and that's what's unique about it.
That's right. So that's recommend you go along there tomorrow night, Crescent Arts Centre, tomorrow night between 5:30 early to 7:30. Nancy Griffith, for God's sake, Martin Lynch, also a huge. It'll be fireworks will be flying that night, I think. You know.
Yeah.
All right, Martin. See you later. Hope you have a
Okay,
great night
thank you
tomorrow
very
night.
much. Bye.
Bye.
Where's your music?
Hmm?
Where's your music?
Never you mind.
I just wanted to know where your music went to.
Is it not on?
No.
Oh, there it is. She made me play the wrong music.
Yeah, I made you play the wrong music. I know, I didn't.
I don't know what happened there. Something strange happened.
When are you going to find Billy Brown singing Cinderella for the people?
I haven't time to look for anything. You know how busy I am. If I had... What was that? Oh, well,
I
if
think
I had
that's
people working
Sandra
for me,
on
it would be great.
What do you mean? You're the boy that has Cinderella locked away.
Said Martha to old Geordie, I'm in the family way. You silly old goose, Geordie roared as he spilled his mug of tea. I thought I reared you, Martha, to keep away from ganders. I've seen you shake your feathered rear as you set off on danders. I'm sorry, Geordie, Martha sobbed. I was overcome with l'amour. And soon there'll be two goslings running round the floor. Old Geordie gave an angry roar and looked as though he'd hit her. Don't come to me, old Geordie yelled, when you need a gosling sitter. Name the gander, Geordie yelled. Who put you in the family way? I'll wring his neck immediately after I've drunk my tea. His name was Rodney, Martha said. I love him such a lot. Oh, please don't strangle Rodney or put him in a pot. Old Geordie ruminated with the aid of cooking sherry, and soon the rural rustic was feeling very merry. Soon he would be a grandad. In the future he could see, sitting in front of the fire with a gosling on each knee. Old Geordie wished wee Martha well, but couldn't understand how's your father for the humble goose, but damn all for the countryman. Old Geordie then rang Gerry with tidings of great joy. Old Martha's in the pudding club. Keep her lit, ya boy. Geordie sat down on his easy chair, listened to the thrush, and toasted the goslings repeatedly with a bottle of black bush. Then a thought began to formulate in Geordie's drunken head. He would goose the next wee dote who dunged out his old bed. A smile appeared in Geordie's face. He was filled with deep desire. In a fit of sexual frustration, he set his house on fire. Old Martha watched the firemen, listened to Geordie's blether, and said to a drake with a twisted beak, He can't get no how's your father. Look, the spring is here, oh feel the gentle air, as Geordie Tuft lies sleeping in a badly scorched old chair. When the well's dry, there's no point in dipping in your bucket. I've always said that.
I'd run till my shoes wore down, just to have you around. 'Cause you laugh when I'm angry. I'm constantly thinking of ways we could sink into each other's arms. What am I gonna do? 'Cause it's all about you. What am I gonna say? 'Cause it's all about you. Kids don't behave like this. 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 I'd run till my shoes wore down, just to have you around. 'Cause you laugh when I'm angry. I'm constantly thinking least we could sink into each other's arms. What am I gonna do? 'Cause it's all about you. And what am I gonna say? 'Cause it's all about you. Kids don't behave like this. 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 Cats 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 don't behave like this.
That's a Plastic Rose, a local band, and that's a great song called Kids Don't Behave Like This, Eat, Sound and Dance Mix. That's from a wee CD called A Plastic Rose, Oceans. Some confusion here. A lot of people don't know what snuff is. Would you believe that?
Emma and I are talking here, and is taste one of your senses? It is, isn't it? Taste.
It is one of your senses, yes.
So is taste not as reliable as smell?
No, because your taste deteriorates as you get older. Your sense of smell does not. Sense of smell is something primeval. See, ever since we crawled out of the ocean, do you remember you crawling out of the ocean? I remember the day you crawled out of the ocean. You went, Jesus, boys.
You kicked me back in.
I said, get back in there. You're not ready. And you went, Jesus, boys, far better out here. There's
but if you taste something.
See when I crawled out out of that water there. I'll tell you what, it was far better. Because there's pubs and everything here. There's nothing in there. There's water and salt with seaweed and all. And fish. And you go up there and there's restaurants and you get everything that's great. I remember being in Cyprus one time, and there's a place called Paphos, which is down the south of the island, nice little place, and there's a place called Coral Beach, just beside it, a lovely, lovely beach, and all the turtles used to come up there and mate. Not mate, but lay their eggs. Mm-hmm. You know the way they go up the beach? Aye. And they lay the eggs, and then they go down again, and then the wee boys run for it. The wee boys, about 2 months later, they run for it, and then the birds try and get everybody tries to get them. But anyway, apparently, and this is true because somebody told me that, and I couldn't believe it, so I looked it up. What happened was that this beach had been undeveloped at all, you see, and these turtles have been coming here for millions of years, and doing their thing. So somebody built a kind of a disco, a club. Right, at the end of the beach with the lights. And see, whenever the turtles came up, they could just see they judged themselves by the moon, apparently.
Right.
That was their source of light. And apparently, they all went up to the disco. But they didn't get in. Do you know why?
Yes.
Why?
They weren't wearing ties.
No, they were wearing a shell suit. You see, you missed that one.
That's good.
But that's actually true. I added the shell suit bit on to it because I felt it needed a bit of humour. But they were all going up to the disco.
What about
because
Sandra?
They were heading for the lights. You see, can you imagine? Millions of years, turtles or tortoises, whatever they were, they see this one light and they say, right, this is it. One day of the year when they go in and drop their eggs, and then suddenly, it's all,
I know.
People dancing around their handbags saying, Jesus, boys.
What about Sandra?
Never mind Sandra.
Sandra's been. How long's Sandra waiting?
I don't know.
What do you see now?
Where is she?
How long's she waiting? Where
is she just? Sandra.
14.
Hello?
Never mind how long you're waiting, Sandra, and I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, but they suggest 14 minutes, and that's far too long. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you very much for taking the time to let me speak to you on the show.
I've been accused of being lecherous. I hope you don't think I'm lecherous in any way.
No.
That's all right.
It's just that I have a wee cat and it has gone missing from yesterday.
Oh dear.
I just wondered maybe if someone over there could hear if I describe the cat, maybe, they might see it and I might get it back again.
Oh yeah, please do, go ahead.
It's a wee black and white cat. It's exactly the same as the Felix cat on the tin. And we live in Newton Ards in the Bangor Road area. Now, I have two wee cats. They're a year old. They're rescue cats.
Uh-huh.
But they're two wee brothers. And they're always in the house or in the garden. They never stray. Both the cats, are neutered and they never stray.
Uh-huh.
But yesterday, just before tea time, he was in the garden. And we heard like a thud. And we thought it was something in the house had fallen, and we searched around the house, couldn't see anything. And then after that, the cat went missing. Now, we don't know if it was a bang or a thud or something outside that has frightened it.
Yeah.
And it has went away and maybe can't find its way back. Actually, we've been up all night. We've been out from after 6 this morning looking for it,
Oh dear.
but no sign of it at all. We're just afraid it's lost its way, and we've been on to CC's, and just if somebody could see the cat, and maybe we could get it back.
Well, give us the bare details again. Where is it and when did it disappear?
Right, we live in Newton Ards, on the Bangor Road.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a big cat, it's a wee black cat with a white face, just exactly the same as a wee Felix cat.
Felix, yeah.
So we're wondering, has it wandered up the Bangor Road or across the road? Or
Okay, all right. So a lot of people would go out having a bit of a stroll round about then, so we'd urge them to keep an eye out. And if indeed they do see that we can't, they probably won't have time to ring us now, but if they do, ring us tomorrow or whenever. Or ring somebody and you leave your details, and if anybody rings in at all, don't you worry, we'll ring you.
That's great.
All right, love, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. A lot of people don't know what snuff is.
I know.
And they don't know what it's for. Well, basically, it's I don't even know what snuff is. I don't know what it is. I've always accepted.
Is it not the
tobacco? It's a tobacco product.
Yes, tobacco. But is it not ground up cigar leaves or tobacco leaves?
I have no idea. I've never had
powdered tobacco leaves.
I've never had any reason to ask what
the
it
sort
was.
of dust of all the, the stuff that they sweep up basically from the floor.
Well, probably not.
Not quite
no,
that,
no,
but you understand. It's just the dust of tobacco leaves.
It's a tobacco product, and what it is, you sniff it up your nose, and you get a kind of a nicotine hit. Basically, that's what it is. And ask Geordie, what is snuff? I've never heard of it, says Richard. What is snuff? A number of people saying they have no idea what it is. What are these people? Where have they been? And tell Turnip Head that his music selection today is crap. Andy in Ballynahinch says he has snuff in a tin for Geordie, and Brian Drummond will buy snuff for Geordie when he goes to the shop. And Paddy says, my nose can still smell the inside of my Daz Austin 7. That was 50 years ago. You see, you always imagine. Do you remember the incident? Did your father have a car when you were young? Hello?
No, I'm trying to think of when I was young. No. Why did you?
Yes.
What sort of car did your father have?
Well, kind of an Austin 7.
When you were... Oh, God, it's just convenient to be an Austin 7 as well. Yeah. Your father didn't have a car. Tell the truth.
My father did have a car.
He didn't. What sort of car did he have then?
He had a Hillman Minx.
Hillman Minx, what year?
1923. Gerry, have you heard the new number one by Adele called Someone Like You? It's amazing. Could you please play it? Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, it's one of those things that you can never, ever play again. Just in from a frustrating appointment in the passport office. So turning on your dulcet turkey neck tones, I'm fast approaching Cam. This morning I went to renew my passport and arrived early for my appointment with the requisite form filled in, the photographs conforming to standard and the fee. So the person dealing with me looked at my 10-year-old, tired and weary passport, pulled at the edges saying that it was borderline. Then went to the back to check if I was acceptable as a form of identity. If I was acceptable as a form of identity. The person came back to inform me that I needed a counter-signatory for my form, as she wasn't sure the person in the photograph was me. Imagine being told that. I pointed at the photograph, admittedly 10 years younger, but still me, and in a barely contained voice of anger, I said, "It's me. It's me. Long and the short of it is, I have to go back on Tuesday." And waste more time, meaning that I'll miss your adults. He won't miss the programme on Tuesday. He says, "How annoying is that? Can you imagine going to the passport office and getting your passport renewed and the person not believing it was you in the photograph? And you stand up your own passport." I said, "Well, who do you think I am then?"
So that person now has to go and get someone just to sign a form.
To say that it's him?
That it is him. Isn't that so stupid?
Oh, it's great. I love this country. I love it. You have to get somebody to sign that to make sure it's you. Because I don't believe you. Who is that? It's me. It's not you. You sure it doesn't look like you? You sure it's not you? Get somebody to sign it and say it's you. Bring it back to me on Tuesday.
There's an iceberg as big as a house floating toward the lagging bridge. It's -10, maybe -12, not a sinner on the streets. 'Cause it's the coldest time in 20 years that anyone can mind. If it goes on any longer, they'll be sawing down the trees. The old boys outside the bookies brave the big freeze for a smoke. But before long they'll be back inside for the Lingfield 5 to 3. The local news are telling news of power cuts and woe. The man sleeping rough on Botanic clings to his bottle of Bow. And I can't feel my hands anymore, 'cause it's too cold out here.
This is the Rapparees, an album called Wrapped Up. Great song called Cold Out Here. We won't get to the very end of it. Back tomorrow. But we'll get near enough to the end of it.
There's a couple of souls who brave the cold, out jogging through the breeze. A handful of hoods up in Annandale abuse all that they behold. And over the west casements covered in snow, the McKenna Cup is on. But just outside the black tax roll by, 'cause it's just another day. And I can't feel my hands anymore, 'cause it's too cold out here. Shops are sold out of salt. The city needs to get a grip. It's all frozen windscreens and spinning wheels, red faces all around. An amateur photographer smiles at what he sees. The iceberg just keeps floating by, oblivious to it all. And I can feel my hand